Welcome to Inside Politics, Election Day edition.
Oh, gosh,
We're recording on Election Day,
no.
but it's actually Inside Media Weekly, a super election exciting.
Super election exciting.
The polls
edition.
are just closed, and it's
not
super
closed yet.
exciting.
Kevin Bastos is here.
That's my
It's going to
name.
be a record-breaking day for the election, or record low, turnout high, low.
One of the
whatever.
two.
Every year,
Right.
it's one of it's the highest or the lowest.
Most important. This may be the most important election. And you know, when Mom says maybe, it's definitely a possibility. Like, Mom, can I maybe?
Maybe. Justin Pinto, maybe. Here. He is here. On time.
Debatable.
You know who else is here? It's a empty pool of water.
Yeah, Otters were here before.
Yeah,
No.
there's a lot of the specks
camera
all
shy.
over the camera, too. I don't know what's going on. Somebody needs to clean the lens
Otter
for the
party.
otters, the sea otters. They're doing nothing. So, big news, not election-oriented.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The top 3 movies of this past weekend were all new movies, which unbelievably the first time since February that has occurred.
And what was the third?
The Nobody's Fool by
Nobody's
Tyler Perry.
By Tyler.
Not the one with Bruce Willis
Different
and
one.
Paul Newman.
Okay.
A new Nobody's Fool.
Got it.
So Kevin Bastos,
Yes.
we sent him on assignment
Yes.
to watch Bohemian Rhapsody. So Bohemian Rhapsody, 51 million, real quick. Nutcracker in the Four Realms at 20, and Nobody's Fool at 13.
Is that disappointing, by the way, for Nutcracker?
I mean, what they probably wanted, yes. After reviews, maybe not.
Oh, is it that bad?
It did get some private reviews, did it not?
Again, I don't understand. I don't understand the appeal of the Nutcracker. I don't get it. It's such a weird story. I guess most. Alice in Wonderland is weird.
Yes.
You know,
People
Nutcracker
go
is
for
weird.
the ballet,
Yeah, that's
not
fine.
for the Morgan Freeman.
No?
But
Oh,
Bohemian,
maybe this one.
but Bohemian Rhapsody. You went and saw it.
Did see
and what
it.
did you think?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Really did. I liked it more than I thought I would, and
Okay.
for different reasons than I thought I would like it.
So why did you think you were going to
Well,
like it?
okay.
And then why did you?
I thought I would like it because the casting for Freddie is perfect. There is nobody else, I think, in the universe who could play him.
What about Sacha Baron Cohen? From 2011.
Okay.
I like Sacha Baron Cohen, but he does everything with such a complete homage and embarrassment of it. I don't think it could happen.
I just couldn't believe that he was actually casted when I was going back and the one article on Box Office Mojo said it's been like 8 years in the making, and I clicked the link and it was like saying he was casted in 2010 or something.
Yeah.
I think it did seem like, well, this guy wasn't even around in 2010, was he? This guy wasn't even famous then, was he? Really?
I don't know what he did. He did some little things before then. He was like in a really crummy television show.
Oh, he's in a
and-
pretty popular.
Oh, it's
Now,
great.
Mr. Robot.
Oh,
yeah,
it's terrific. Have you
Yeah.
watched it?
No, I need to.
Outstanding.
But yeah, so
Outstanding.
I think that really launched him, didn't it? I mean, that's like his most
Right. Right. And he's
well-known work, probably.
He's excellent.
or was his most well-known work.
yeah, and
Until
I think
now.
this put him probably more on the map. It's hard to say.
Yeah, and even the bad reviews have been all praising Rami Malek's performance as Freddy in it. But
He's very good.
once he's
But the
in
problem with it is Freddie Mercury is bigger than any actor could be. And that's the ultimate problem you're going to run into is you're on that line between a caricature of who he was and what he did and really playing a wonderful homage to him, and almost everything's going to feel one direction or the other. The shoes are too big for any person to fill. That being said, he did a pretty darn good job of getting real close to fill him. It was really, really excellent. I have to say, and this may seem odd or weird, it felt like a natural or a right split between historical look at Queen and Mercury as an individual. So it really did a pretty good job of balancing those two. The criticism I'd have is I wanted more time. I mean, I really wanted more time to see the development of that. That being said, I mean, are we spoiling it a little bit?
sure,
Okay.
spoil away.
My favorite part of the film.
Cover your ears if you haven't seen it yet.
Right. My favorite part of the film was the fact that they included the entire set for Live Aid. I thought that they were going to trim that, have one song, pull it apart, but it was the full 20-minute set of everything, and it was wondrous. I mean, certainly it's no replacement for being there. It wasn't that, but all of that was in, and they could have very easily trimmed that, cut it, slipped it apart, made it a 15, 20, minutes
They could have
shorter.
started it and then faded to black and had
Right.
him coming off the stage.
Right, or
Been
just
done.
that would be the end, going on stage at that moment and it's done. They included the entirety of the set, and that in itself was pretty spectacular. The other shout I'm really going to throw out here, and this surprised me immensely, was I loved Deacon in it. I loved him. I thought I would get more about Brian May, and that was fine. Maybe he's a smaller person than who he is as an entertainer, and that came across. His personality is much smaller than he is as an entertainer, than he is as a guitarist. Like, even watching, the bits and pieces of that live set, to see him portrayed on stage, I was like, this is crazy. Freddie's eccentric wild man going nuts, and the Deacon character's just back there, and Brian May is going crazy on guitar in one place. I mean, and that's who he is as an individual. But to see the behind of Deacon and find out that, not that it was a secondary part of his life, but a regular guy in this band, and to see him portrayed, and they actually pulled a little bit of the Another One Bites the Dust writing and gave him a little props on that bass line and that coming there. That was a nice
Obviously,
moment.
Chic wasn't watching, right?
No, not in that one. Sorry.
Band wasn't.
But it was a nice little throw in that line there. But his character I liked a lot, and it's the kid from Jurassic Park playing him. Really mad.
The
props.
first Jurassic Park.
Correct. Yeah, way back, 20, 30 years ago.
1993, right?
Something like that.
I think it's 25, yeah.
But it was a wonderful romp. Again, I'm glad I didn't listen to critics too. That was one of my friends posted on it. It certainly wasn't the experience of Queen. I wanted it to be longer, and of course I'm hoping for some
Extended.
4-hour.
Behind the scenes, give me as much as you got.
And the promotion of it, again, I know without delving into the classroom inappropriate stuff, the promotion of it did downplay a lot of Mercury's life. That was not downplayed in the film.
Right.
It was right in the forefront of it, and going through that love of his life and lost and going a different direction and where they came at the end. It was pretty good homage to it. John Deacon's shirt and all in the Live Aid thing. Looking at that, I kept thinking,
Did they use any footage from actual concerts and stuff, or did they recreate it all?
Recreated everything. I believe.
Yeah, because I'm watching part of the trailers and watching clips and stuff. I mean, it seems pretty big. The stage, the scene seems grand.
I don't know if they did some CG on the staging of it at Live Aid, but
Yeah.
the band footage is all
Them.
the actors playing those roles. But again, the thing that kept popping in my mind was that shirt that he purposely chose to wear for that was just this. I mean, I'm wearing this paper airplane shirt. That could very well have been one of his choices. Just so, whatever. What do I got in my closet here? Other thing I want to mention was Mike Myers' insertion of that role. Perfect. He plays.
He's the
Record label guy?
Record label guy when
yeah.
they're working on Night at the Opera,
Right.
and there's the back and forth on Bohemian Rhapsody and whether or not it's going to be the lead single on it. And he was a person I thought would be too big or too far of a character. He didn't. He played it 100% straight in every way without being any sort of,
Not bringing Austin Powers into it.
no Austin Powers character, and he could have been some crazy kind of a, but he wasn't. It was all played straight, and that made it all the funnier. That was a great cast, and of course you've got lines with referential homage to the whole headbanging, playing the Bohemian Rhapsody thing.
Sure.
It was well played, perfectly done, and then that scene afterward with sort of flying in the face of it. Stick it in your ear kind of thing, and toward the end of the film they come back to him for exactly one shot, and it's perfect, just wonderfully done.
Well, you've made me feel a lot better. I haven't seen it yet. We're talking about seeing it this weekend coming up. My trepidations. Well, I have many.
Of course.
Being a longtime fan of the band and have read a lot of the biographies, my issue, and you addressed it, was this was a stage persona for Farouk Balsara. He wasn't really this outrageous individual. He even said in interviews, if I was this way all the time, I would be dead, right away. And he never would talk about his childhood, and there's certain things that have become kind of mythic as part of it. I was concerned about the remaining members that are involved, Brian and Roger, and it's not necessarily them per se, but there's a lot of rewriting of music history right now that's going on. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, let's re-record the bassist line so that way we don't have to pay him royalties anymore. Another of my bands growing up, Electric Light Orchestra, Jeff Lynne has basically written out the other 6 members of the band and everything that's on the web. He's gone to re-record stuff. There's a lot of that, and so. And I know initially with Sacha Baron Cohen, the talk was going to be that Freddie was going to die in the middle of the movie, and it was going to be about how Queen still survived and was a great band after he was dead, as opposed to, and I believe the timeline is more about the friction in the band, basically falling apart in the early '80s and then reuniting for Live Aid, kind of as their triumphant return to the world stage. Even though in the U.S. they stopped paying attention at that point in time, but the rest of the world was conquered by the band. But
it was a very humanizing portrayal. A lot of his parents and sister in the film, and making that change and the friction that came as a result of that family. And even at that point, and again, I don't know the truthiness level of it, but reintroducing his family to right before Live Aid there, and then showing pictures of him with his family at that ending, and talking about what happened as a result of it, or his bits of life afterward, those little pieces. It was well done. It was humanizing, and the fault wasn't placed necessarily on any individual. Again, the Freddie full of himself and going on to get the contract between those two, and going into excess at that point, and leaving the group essentially, and then the possible reunification at that point, and I'm sure there were more demands, and I'm sure it was more friction filled going through that. It's very homogenized for the screen, but it was humbling of everyone. And really, I thought the film would play up the role of the two guys that were there behind it, and they felt like not like minor players, but they weren't portrayed in a stunning sense. Like, there's a great back and forth about I'm in love with my car, where it's just abusive on Roger at that point. Like, this is a garbage song essentially, and I'm stunned that was left in the film as is, and that could have been a place where we sort of breezed by that or brushed over it. Yeah, this song's better, but it was dumping on it and making fun of it. So that to me was positive, that it was looking under the rocks and crags and seeing the underbelly of it. I'm sure it was not all of it, but fun romp.
Oscar award winning potentially. There's talk of Rami Malek himself. And obviously the biopics typically have not done extremely well.
You get a lot of nominations sometimes for like the actor and stuff. If you do it really well, everyone's like, well, we can nominate him.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with this movie that 18 people saw.
It's rough for me to say that one way or the other, because again, he wasn't my favorite part of the film, and it wasn't. He did the best possible job of filling those shoes that any person could, but it and it was humanizing, and it was. I would have a tough time voting for it. I haven't seen everything else. I don't know what else is going to be nominated. Very slim, but it's one of those things where tip of the cap would be, okay, give it to him. Like, we'll give you a nomination.
I can't believe how much he looks like him. At time, and like, I mean, I don't know much about Queen. I am a little bit younger enough than you guys to not really appreciate the '80s as much as you guys. You guys lived the '80s, and I just was kind of living in the '80s. So like I don't remember Queen from like the beginning of it all or anything. You know, I mean, my Queen is really Wayne's World, and like
Right.
you know
For
the
a lot of
music.
people, that's where they all
and you
started.
see like but like so I'm not like but those pictures of him with the mustache at the end, and Remy with it and all, and it's like it's really really close. Like some of those, like I said, I thought some of those band shots were like stolen footage because it really looks. I mean, it looks really well done.
Yeah, it was funny. There were, again, jokes about May's hair in it. You know, that was. Are you going to keep that hair? Yeah, for the rest of my life. That was, and again, he has proven true on that dedication. But
all right, so we'll have to see when the award
Highly
nominations
recommended.
come out. I'm trying to think. Doors never won anything,
No.
right? I'm trying to think other. I mean, even kind of biggish musical biopics that.
well, the Beatles ones, but
yeah.
those aren't really biopics. Those are very sanitized for the screen.
Sure.
I think Hard Day's Night was even a G, wasn't it? And it's a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
film, but it's very puritanical in every sense.
Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with the Bee Gees.
I was
Speaking
thinking
of
Magical Mystery Tour. That's actually them,
Speaking-
and that movie's awful. Oh, that's pain. Have you watched that?
No, I don't. I'm not a huge Beatles fan in general.
Oh, you're wrong.
It's fine.
You're
I'm not.
wrong.
I'm not a big. You guys like music way more than I do. I'm not a huge music fan.
Inside Music Weekly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, I can appreciate it. I mean, it's just not my thing.
All right. I've just listened to this morning. Let It Be. It's a terrible album. It's got
I drove
4
this-
good songs
Last
on it.
gasp.
And, some trash there.
Well, you know, one more payday. We just got to get it out.
Then they did. Do you guys remember the movie they tried to do on that? They actually could not release it. It's just
Like
they were yelling at one
speaking
another
of
the
not
whole
released
time.
movies,
What?
well, the Fantastic Four.
That's a transition.
Look at that. He's jumping way ahead, but I'll go
They
to
made
it.
it. They
So,
made it, and they finally you can watch it.
so on YouTube now, you can watch the original 1994 Fantastic Four. I'm sure
Has
it kind
it
of
been out there already?
Perhaps,
Wasn't
but
it
I
on
don't-
YouTube?
they
Not
made a
in
big
this.
deal.
Not in this kind of quality.
Hold on, we gotta.
My time. There are so many things I'd rather watch, and my time is very limited. But I might sit down and watch this.
Oh, I don't know.
I might. It
I
just
don't
looks
know.
so bad.
Hour and a half of your time.
Okay, I mean,
I've watched the intro at times, and it is bad.
You know, there's. It's probably dangerous for me to be jumping ahead in this movie, but
I
you
don't
never
know.
know what
You
you're
never
gonna
know.
see.
Oh
There's
gosh, even that
outstanding-
beard is terrible.
Outstanding.
They're all wearing the 1920s futuristic suits here.
this movie was
Oh.
made. Can we not forget this movie was made around the same time Jurassic Park was made? So these are the special effects we got here.
The budget was $1 million for this film, if I remember correctly. That was the entirety of the money put in. So the camera guys, the editors, the actors, these tinfoil suits, $1 million.
Paranormal Activities budget was like $15,000.
This movie, like these costumes. If I came in dressed as these costumes for Halloween,
Nobody know who you were.
Nope. First, nobody. But we get like 5th place in costumes. I'm gonna be like,
If you actually got
Did you see Mrs. Miller's? Hers is really good.
if you got the actual costumes from the movie, like the literal, they put them in a film, and you wore them to school, a piece of Hollywood history, you would not. You are correct. You would not win Teacher
Nope.
Costume Madness.
Nope. Doctor Doom. What are
He
you?
actually looks pretty good there. The thing looks terrible.
It's awful.
So you can watch it now. It's an entirety, higher
have to. I might have
quality than ever before, and well, it's not legal, I assume, still, right? That's what I was trying to see is who actually put this thing up, but
It's one of those things that, like the Star Wars holiday film or whatever, it's not legal to put that out there, but
But they like watch that. Like that goes up and it goes down fast. Like they pull that constantly. I mean,
Have you ever watched it?
I have it on a DVD in my basement.
That wasn't the question.
I have not watched it.
Okay.
I have not watched it.
I have not either. I have watched the Boba Fett cartoon.
I have not watched that either.
I have. That is
I
not
might need to do
atrocious.
I might need to do a Star Wars a day because there's enough stuff now, like Clone Wars, the stuff. You know what I mean? Like I could actually. There's enough stuff that I haven't seen that could warrant like just
watching.
watching it, taking that
let's
30
just go
minutes a
back.
night, watching an episode.
Oh my Lanta. That is great.
Invisible
Blue
Woman.
screen Invisible Woman.
perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they may or may not be on a hillside outside, but it may be a set.
They may or may not be in the
What?
backyard of somebody who's a
hard to
producer on the
tell.
movie.
I don't even think that's a backyard.
I think that's a.
Guys, come over. I have a nice backyard. There's nothing that we'll put up a blue screen. We won't see my neighbor's house. Be perfect.
I don't know. The blue screen's like $20. Do we have $20? Oh, gosh.
So I finally saw Black Panther.
Yes.
It took me how many months? It was
Welcome
on Netflix.
Well, 9 months since it came out, right? February. Came out in February, didn't it?
I fell asleep.
So did you actually watch it?
Boni.
I saw the beginning and the end.
Well, really, what happens in the middle?
So, I'm gonna throw a few stories out
I
here.
was
See.
going to ask for your review of it.
Oh, I got yeah. What I saw of it was pretty decent. I don't know. Well, and Thor I can't say it, Ragnarok, right?
Have you seen that yet?
Is also on Netflix.
That
I was
one,
waiting to go.
I think Thor Ragnarok could be the best Marvel movie.
Oh, it's excellent.
It's really good.
And to go from, was it Dark whatever,
Dark World.
to that's a
Thor
serious
1 and Thor 2 just aren't, they're not great.
Thor is okay.
Thor's okay. Thor 2 is really bad.
Bad. Maybe one of the worst movies.
But
I
the
might
whole-
put it below The Incredible Hulk, because Incredible Hulk has redeeming qualities.
But the whole like reinventing of like the Thor world in that movie
Ugh.
is so good.
It's so much fun. Ragnarok's excellent.
So when I woke back up, though, I watched Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which I had not
Excellent
seen
film.
yet.
What'd you think of that?
It's the greatest and worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is one of my favorite films.
It is.
At top, I wouldn't say top 10, but top 30, 40 for sure.
It's definitely it
It's
came out relatively recently. Didn't
crazy.
it?
8 years ago,
Yeah.
something like that. And it was a miserable failure. Like, opened
Yeah.
at number 6 in the box office, kind of just
And it's
train wreck.
crazy how many famous people are in the
Oh,
cast of
and
of it.
excellent. And the movie is, like you said,
That's that one. They have that young
has
guy.
some
Who's that?
train
They got that
wrecks,
young
but,
guy.
Michael Cera is the
Yeah.
lead in it, but
love that
the effects
film.
in it are the fight scenes are just unbelievably good, and then there's just some crazy stuff.
So many references to things, like when they kill people and I'll turn into coins.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
It was a movie made for us, but marketed towards terrible teenagers.
I need to see it then.
Oh, I've not
it's
seen it.
incredible.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I really want to see Ready Player One. I feel like I've left Ready Player One, the book, behind enough. I
Okay.
can see the movie and not just hate it.
Okay.
So Paddington 3 is officially in the works.
Yes.
This is what we went to next. Paddington 3. Deadpool. Hello.
So Deadpool, yeah. Oh, sorry. The
yeah.
Deadpool, as we mentioned last show, is being recut, PG-13 being re-released in theaters, and they're doing a wraparound, actually with Fred Savage
Yes.
in it,
Brilliant.
and it's got a name now.
Will you go see it again?
Yeah. I only have 10 days.
Once Upon a Deadpool.
And it's one of the hardest times of the year to get out and do anything.
Yeah, it's a short run, right? Yeah, they said it's only going to be
10,
out for a
12
little bit.
Dungeons and Dragons movie is going to begin shooting in summer of 2019. So how
Did
about
anyone
this?
here see the original Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Yes.
You mean the one that came out a
With,
little bit
what-
ago?
No, back
like
in the 80s.
Oh,
15,
didn't they redo
20
it?
years
Didn't they come
ago.
out with a Dungeons and Dragons movie that wasn't called Dungeons and Dragons, but it was supposed to be like
I'm
about
not familiar with that
5
one.
to 10 years ago?
The Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I have not seen that one.
It was like 2000, 1995. I don't know, a long time ago. It was awful. Just bad. I thought the cartoon animated series was better.
Oh, yeah. So this is exciting. Fully funded Friday the 13th. So Friday the 13th Vengeance. So they had a Kickstarter. They were looking for like $25,000. They got $40,000. And they're going to do a Friday the 13th. Well, they said that was just to make sure that they can make the film. They have money set aside. But they have two of the actors.
$42,000.
Two of the actors that played Jason are going to be in this, and they have the screenwriter of Friday the 13th 6 is actually helping be an executive consultant on this thing. How incredible
Is the screenwriter from Friday the 13th? Yes.
is that?
Part
Six.
6.
How? Well, yeah. I mean, how
Not
exciting!
even Friday the 13th Part 4 or something. Part 6. Wow. The assistant screenwriter.
So I have really bad news for you, by the way.
This was fast. Boy, we're just throwing
We're
through
almost
things.
sorry. Well, Tyler Perry is going to retire the Madea character in 2019, and I did want to tell
It's gonna
you,
be like the final tour of Madea.
so Madea had 8 movies collectively in the United States has made almost $500 million.
I'm not surprised.
So why is he going to stop? Why stop?
So
Keep
people
going.
clamor for more.
Oh, so he's going to take a hiatus. He's coming back.
Coming 2023, The Return.
There is just so much you can do about dressing yourself as an old woman in a movie. remember
We've had
the
to hit every holiday. We've had to have every holiday. by
Vern
now.
character. What was that character?
The Vern character.
Oh yeah. Oh, you guys don't even remember
From
that.
what
That was
movie?
too far. Ernest.
Oh.
Ernest character.
Ernest goes to jail. Ernest goes to camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All those.
Ernest joins the army. Was that one
I
of
don't
them?
know.
I think.
They
There's
were
only so many places you
terrible.
can put them.
Yes.
So, a couple other quick stories. Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, perhaps going to be doing another movie together. Is that important?
I'd watch that.
The Spice Girls have announced a 2019 reunion tour, but without Posh.
Ah, forget you, Posh.
Well, they're on good terms still, the article said.
Tom Hanks calls Toy Story 4 ending an emotional moment in history.
They
And
keep
real quick,
ripping
so
my
they're
heart
saying
out.
Venom's success may stop Spider-Man rights from returning to Marvel. They may say, hey, we're making some money here.
Hey, if things are working, work across both sides, and handshake across, whatever.
But didn't they just buy Fox?
Yeah.
Or is that Sony? Venom Sony? Venom
Spider-Man is Sony, too,
but
right?
Sony, Spider-Man and Venom are the same company, right?
Fox
Sony
is
with a
separate-ish.
lease agreement. to
Right,
be
they had
used by-
they had sort of a handshake. That's
Yes.
when Iron Man came in, and they allowed Spider-Man to come over, back and forth, so they can keep doing that
What's going to happen is 2 years from now, Disney buys Sony.
as long as they keep making gajillions of dollars. It's all going to be okay.
3 movies coming out this weekend. What's
Just
going to be
3?
number one? Well, three wide releases. Dr. Seuss, The Grinch. Really? Do we need this again?
Should have waited a week.
I love, it's called The Girl in the Spider's Web, A New Dragon Tattoo Story, which means 10 years from now, the subtitle is still going to be A New Dragon Tattoo Story.
Well, it was because it was 3 movies, 3 books that were written by him, and this one was written by someone else as a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
There is technically still another book that he wrote but didn't finish that the sort of widow but not really widow has. She's trying to work out an arrangement to write, and that's why they went and they were like, get a ghostwriter to write the same character, same story, and cut her out of the agreement. So
All right. And then Overlord.
I'm going to say...
Are any 3 of these going to knock off Bohemian Rhapsody? Or
How about The Grinch?
probably. It'll be close, though. It'll be like a photo finish.
Benedict Cumberbatch as The Grinch. What could go wrong?
Pretty good call. Good call on that.
that is all the time we have for on
course.
this edition of Inside Politics
Let's
Weekly.
do another one right now.
We'll have a post-election edition next week, and we'll also talk about the movies that have come out on the next exciting edition of Inside Media Weekly. Thanks for joining us.